Hello, and welcome back to Matt Knows. Today, we're embarking on an exploration into one of the greatest World War II mysteries of all time, the Nazi gold train. Is it just a myth, or could there be real evidence pointing to its hiding place? Historians, academic researchers, and explorers continue to search for clues as to the location of the lost train and its cargo of gold. Let's dive into some of the most compelling theories and locations that might hold the key to this mystery. In the final frantic days of World War II, the Nazis scrambled to hide their vast loot. By 1945, Nazi armies had plundered museums, banks, and private collections across Europe. Some 1.4 million railway wagons of art and valuables were carted off to Germany. In one famous case, U.S. troops discovered Reichsbank gold and stolen paintings secreted in the Merkers salt mine in April 1945. Yet not all the treasure was found. Rumors began to swirl of last-minute transports heading into the mountains. Gold bars and jewelry, guns, and priceless art, everything Hitler's regime could seize, were on the move. Could a hidden trainload of stolen fortunes have vanished under the Ural Mountains as the Third Reich collapsed? The legend of the Nazi gold train has haunted Poland for generations. Local folklore claims that in late 1944 or early 1945 the Nazis rounded up tons of gold bullion from the city of Breslau, today Wrocław, and loaded it onto an armored train. The train was to carry this wealth further into the Reich, but it disappeared on the rails as the Soviet Red Army closed in. One popular tale says it was driven into a tunnel near the 13th century Książ Castle, another pins its fate in a hidden siding in the nearby hills. The setting fuels the mystery. Książ Castle and the surrounding Ural Mountains were crisscrossed by Nazi engineering projects. A vast underground complex, Project Reese, Giant, was built by forced laborers beneath these hills. This secret tunnel network and unfinished weapons depots lend an eerie credibility to rumors that high-value cargo could have been tucked away here. The classic story goes. With the Soviets at the gates, a train overloaded with gold, gems, art, and armaments was hidden in the Ural Mountains and sealed off, possibly even booby-trapped. Over the decades, the myth only grew. Retired miners and villagers began whispering about strange wartime encounters. One oft-repeated account comes from Tadeusz Słowikowski, a now elderly Wałbrzych miner. He says that in the 1970s a German he knew told him, a train left Breslau in spring 1945 and disappeared before reaching Waldenburg, now Wałbrzych. These stories capture the imagination, but historians are skeptical. Documents show that Breslau's gold was evacuated northward to Berlin, not sent west. Archivist Paweł Rodziewicz notes there is no doubt all the bullion went to the Reichsbank in Berlin and elsewhere, leaving no reason to tunnel it into the Ural Mountains. He also points out, engineers never built a secret rail tunnel up the mountain, no wartime blueprint or order for such a railroad has ever been found. In short, no wartime record backs the gold train tale, despite all the local legend. In August 2015, the conspiracy leapt from myth into the headlines. Two amateur explorers, Polish builder Piotr Koper and German Andreas Richter, announced they had found irrefutable proof of the missing train. They had been using ground-penetrating radar along a disused railway embankment near Wałbrzych. The scans showed a shape about 100 meters long, matching an armored train, buried 8 or 9 meters underground. The men said the train carriages, totaling 98 meters, were real, but likely contained weapons and ammunition, not jewels. Still, they cited old stories, if art, gold, and archives were missing, maybe inspired by the Nazi tunnels around Książ Castle. The claim was explosive. Within hours world media was gripped by Wałbrzych's gold rush. Polish outlets reported that local lawyers and even the National Railroad Museum had been told about the find. Amateur treasure hunters and sightseers descended on the Ural Mountains with detectors. As one American newspaper put it, gold fever has descended on southwestern Poland, after a top culture official gave the story credence. Deputy Culture Minister Piotr Żukowski told reporters he was, more than 99%, sure the treasure existed. He said he had seen radar images of an armored train hidden in a tunnel. The local response was immediate. Half of Wałbrzyk's townsfolk, it was said, grabbed shovels and set off on treasure hunts. Within days the site was sealed, police cordoned off the tracks, and army munitions experts were dispatched to guard the presumed location. Authorities warned of danger. One treasure hunter narrowly avoided being struck by an active train while trying to take a selfie on the rails. By November 2015, an official search was underway. Mining engineers began surveying the embankment with thermal cameras, magnetometers, and ground-penetrating radar. The operations attracted global attention. Poland's government said the area had never been excavated and anything might be found. Reports noted that even Cold War intelligence services, US, Soviet and Polish, had once scoured the region. Meanwhile, the two hobbyists pressed on. Koper and Richter hired lawyers and demanded 10% of whatever was there. They refused to step aside, insisting their data was sound. Back in late 2015, Piotr Koper had declared on TV, "We discovered a tunnel, you can see clearly the entrance." He was convinced we are going to prove its existence, he told reporters. But skepticism grew. In December 2015, Krakow's prestigious AGH University announced that geologists had found no train at the site. Professor Janusz Madej's survey used magnetic and gravimetric analysis and radar, he concluded. "I am 100% sure there is no train. The data showed anomalies, but only a tunnel possibility. There is no evidence for the existence of a Nazi gold train," researchers say, the press reported. Koper and Richter were undeterred, however, claiming any mistake was due to technology differences. In August 2016, under heavy media scrutiny, Koper and Richter led a dig on 3 fenced-off sites near the tracks. A yellow excavator began ripping into an embankment above the suspected tunnel entrance. During the multi-day dig, the team said it hoped to unveil a sort of time capsule from the World War II era. Witnesses saw equipment rolling in, work boots stepping into the forest, a fringe of explorers refusing to give up. But nothing was found. By late August, the dig was called off. In a press conference, the treasure hunters confessed defeat. "No train, no tunnel," admitted Richter and Koper. They explained that the radar image they had taken for a train turned out to be a natural rock formation and ice. The Krakow study was upheld. Polish mining experts echoed earlier doubts. "There may be a tunnel. There is no train," their spokesman said. The fallout split Poland. Skeptics insisted the gold train was pure myth. Newspapers headlined, "Poland says the rumored Nazi ghost train isn't real," after scientific surveys. An Associated Press analysis noted that, "Historians say the existence of the train never has been conclusively proven." Archivists pointed out that documentation for the Ksias tunnels exists, but none mentions a buried train. They argue that continuing treasure hunts only feed wild conspiracy. Meanwhile, die-hard treasure hunters and thrill-seekers call this a cover-up or failure of science. They note that 8 decades have not dimmed local belief. In fact, in May 2025 a new twist emerged. A mysterious anonymous letter sent to a treasure hunting group claimed to give the exact location of 3 camouflaged train carriages near Wałbrzych. The letter reportedly included detailed directions in the Reese tunnels, matching the old legends. Local historian Łukasz Kazek told the press this was the most credible lead we've had in years, cautiously optimistic that it matched long-standing legends of a sealed tunnel. If true, the anonymous tip would put investigators right where rumors have always pointed, but so far it remains unverified. The truth is, no one outside those forests knows. Even today, one must ask, what if the train is still there, waiting to be found? Or, more soberly, what if it was never there at all? The official line leans toward never was, but conspiracy theories thrive. History offers no easy answers, and the debate itself has become part. Whether real or not, the Nazi gold train saga has had real-world consequences. Ironically, the story has been a boon to the region. Tourists and treasure hunters have flocked to Wałbrzych, boosting the local economy. The town's mayor quipped that the publicity in the global media is worth roughly $200 million, far above the city's usual promotional budget. Guided tours of the Ksias tunnels and museums even sprang up, capitalizing on the curiosity. At the same time, serious questions have been raised about cultural heritage and ethics. If the train did contain valuables from occupied countries or Holocaust victims, who gets to claim them? In 2016, the World Jewish Congress warned Polish officials that any treasure train discovered must first be checked for Jewish-owned assets, to be returned to survivors or heirs. Museums and governments stress that scientific protocol must be followed. Anything found underground is a heritage find, not a folk legend's bounty. For historians and archaeologists, the gold train hype is a cautionary tale. It illustrates how folklore can blur reality, even decades later. As one expert noted, treasure hunters refuse to give up despite warnings by historians that the rumors are bogus. Each year new books, documentaries, and conspiracy videos pop up, showing that the myth endures in popular culture. And so, 80 years after World War II, the Nazi gold train remains missing and unresolved. What lies beneath the Owl Mountains? Was it ever there? Will one day a tunnel be opened to reveal the Third Reich's last secret cargo? We may never know for sure. As one British newspaper put it, the gold train is one of the great unsolved mysteries of the war. For every piece of evidence, there is a skeptic's rebuttal. Each clue so far has only deepened the intrigue. The tracks are quiet now. The riddle hangs in the air. Is the train still under lock and stone, or is it simply a phantom of history? The answer remains hidden in the mists, and the mystery endures. So, do you believe there's a lost Nazi gold train waiting to be found, or do you think it's just a myth? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more explorations into the unknown. Until next time, may your adventures be legendary.